We don't need Stevie. If he arrives, he arrives. Now I've got to say, when I heard about this, I'm a big fan of Phil Rosenthal because obviously, well, I've got a few interviews with him. I'm a big fan of comedy, so he's in that circuit of the Gilbert Gottfrieds and all that, the podcast. He's just known to be a good guy and very funny. Obviously, Everybody Loves Raymond was great. He's done other kind of shows, and had some success. And then this was originally called I'll Have What Phil's Having. It was running on TV. Did very, very well. People loved it. Like a lot of TV shows didn't last, but then good old Netflix, who are the saviour of great ideas, took it up in January. So from your point of view, were you kind of, when you heard they asked, I don't know if you were surprised?
I didn't know anything about Phil or who he was or anything. I'd never heard of the show. Didn't even know Everybody Loves Raymond. Right. So we were extremely ignorant. We just heard, Netflix show, and they want to come film stuff some morning, and someone explained that it was a good thing to do.
Good.
So it's like, great, brilliant.
Now, you got Phil into the water. Was that your idea? Was he up for it? Or?
I think it was more like they kind of scoped the place. They sent people out here to see what we do and how we do stuff, and we said, come swim, and it's really fun, and the sunrises and whatever. And he wouldn't come for sunrise because it was too early, but we all went down swimming. There was maybe 10 or 15 or 20 of us.
Should have done sunset. He's a comedian, so sunset might have worked. Sunset swim might work for him.
We all went swimming, and he had a great time. He loved it, but he didn't want to get in. And then we came up here and we showed him, we tasted food and whatever, and talked about all the little things. And then we get a phone call kind of 6 or 8 hours later saying Phil says he doesn't want to leave Ireland without going swimming with you.
Boom.
Saying that
great.
He really feels he should do this. He shouldn't miss out on the opportunity. So can you meet him back down here in a couple of hours and see if you can get a bunch of people to come again? So we rustled up another crowd and we all went back down and he got in this time.
And his palate is quite broad, and he's been all over the world. This is kind of part of the kick of the show, that he likes to try food from everywhere.
But he's a really lovely attitude to people. He loves people. People, so he loves he's really open and gregarious and social, and
And that is the role of food in many houses and countries and towns and all that. The idea you have a meal, it sort of breaks the bread, and it kind of gives you that.
And also you really got a sense that his brother was the producer, so Phil's brother Rich was the producer.
Right.
And Rich's son was also part of the crew, so there was a real familiar family, and one of their best mates was the director, so it was a real crack was they were having a laugh, which was, it kind of carried through, and it created a lovely atmosphere, which was cool.
No, it does seem logical that you guys would sort of be leaning towards these kind of shows, or is it a case of just you want to make sure it's the right thing, obviously, but I don't know whether.
No, it's a fantastic opportunity. We were love to be part of it. When you hear things like that, you don't really question, you just go brilliant.
But your own show, there must be huge potential to sort of maybe it's just time.
We've got lots of ideas that we're kind of tinkering away with.
Right.
You're doing that
topless cook show you're thinking about.
Of course. Of course, Paul. Yeah, always that. No. But we do have a good few ideas, which we've kind of cast a few things out, so we'll see if they catch. So
now, of course, Phil, as I mentioned, is one of the funniest guys on the American kind of comedy circuit, and that's a big achievement. You guys are very dull. Was it a hard contrast between?
You had to really work with us to get.
I'd say to get to the smile and laugh.
It was a bit like pulling teeth. But eventually he got a tooth, and we laughed and we smiled and we had a bit of crack. Only when he was leaving,
Yeah.
So that was great.
We should say it's next Friday, 6th of June, 8 p.m. in the Whale, and the money, it's €10 in. It goes to Tiglin, the great Tiglin.
And we'll do tasters. We'll kind of pass around that. So I think it's more a celebration. The show focused on Greystones. There was as much about Greystones in the little town of Greystones. Not as much, but it certainly came up a huge amount. So I think it'll definitely bring people from all over the world, I'd say, might be curious to come along.
Hello, ma'am. How are you? We're doing a little interview. Look, if you look in this side, you can see there's Dave. You see, we're talking to Dave and we're videotaping. It's like a photograph, but we're videotaping.
Why is it so small?
Because I'm very poor. Otherwise, I have a huge one. That's how. If you see any big ones lying around on the floor, just you give it to me. It'd be great.
Take someone to see them.
That's
very
why
it is.
So we should and we should say that, as I said, it's 8 o'clock. The doors open at 7, and it's €10 in, and we'll show it on the big screen, which will be good fun.
And I think we need to get a good bit of permissions to get.
Oh yeah, here he comes now. Oh yeah. How are you, Steve? That's all right. We just thought we'd just say a quick hello, just in case you weren't able to make it. And we did actually.
Cool.
Oh yeah, we just said we mocked up Phil's original poster, and we threw in some images of your fine self,
That's great.
including the swim. There we go. That's sweet.
Brilliant, isn't it?
And we were just talking. He's a lovely man, and obviously a very funny guy.
Man. Yeah, did you ever watch Everybody Loves Raymond?
Know it well.
Everybody Loves Raymond, right?
Yes,
I think
yes.
so, yeah.
And that was as big as Roseanne, and there was a sort of a last gasp of the sitcom that seemed to work. I mean, there was that, and then Kings and Queens just seemed to be the last. And also, Molly and whatever it is. Yeah,
I think it was the biggest grossing comedy in US history.
Yeah, they've done they did great numbers, and Romano, they made him a star, and they made Brad Garrett a star, and made a bunch of them. And the great Peter Boyd was the father. He's just one of these great classic kind of. He was the young Frankenstein, he was the monster, and that, and just one of those. So it was a lovely mix of people in it. But yeah, I'm just thinking now that well, obviously you've sort of said it already. Given this kind of show, it's a huge audience. It must be only a matter of time before you guys are sort of doing your own thing in a similar. It might be a different format, of course.
Yeah, I guess we've got loads of ideas, and we're working on things. But
you know how the game works. You'll
have lots of irons in the fire. Lots of irons in the fire. And in the meantime, we've got our own YouTube channel, which will be fun shooting videos for that. And working on stuff.
And are you on social media yet? I haven't noticed now.
No, but
you should try it. Instagram and stuff. I think it would work well with you guys. You should try it. Maybe, I don't know. There's a few of them. I'll show you later when we hang up here. I'll show you. Yeah, you can use your phone. You can sort of just.
You need a mobile.
You can do phone.
I like the phone, man.
But yeah, and we were kind of wrapping up to say that it's next Friday, 6th of June, 8 p.m. Doors 7. We'll have some beautiful Happy Pear food,
and we'll have lots of nibbles.
And all the money goes to
Tiglin. Yeah, which is great. Carrick Eden crowd and all that. They had their gig last night.
And whatever. We haven't seen the show. I saw the little Greystones section that we're in, but I haven't seen the show.
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it too. And I think there's something about a communal feeling in a room. We have the film club over there now, and just being in a room together to watch anything,
it's
just sweet. It's just like it feels like you're sort of up to Divilment, like you're on a coach trip somewhere together. So that's what we want to do.